Nay, my cabs, and welcome back to another Cozy Den special, continuing to explore the works from Viken's mod collection. Today, a trio of what Khajit heard, what Khajit saw, and what Khajit said. So grab yourself a tankard of mead, pull up a bench by the fire, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy these, as it really helps to support our little channel. But now to begin, we will start with what Khajit heard. This one heard about a knight of the Alessian Order. He had many fine friends and was extremely wealthy. He retired from service after the cleansing of Malada and lived a carefree life. This knight was one of those who lived in the conviction that the gods themselves had given him the right to decide about the life and death of his subjects. Some say there are few like him, but this Khajit thinks even one such person is one too many. And this is how this Khajit saw him. Well, this knight lived on his estate with several hundreds subjects and treated his neighboring landowners like fools. In short, he was overbearing. He kept dozens of hounds in the kennels of his palace, and dozens of kennel guards. They were all armored and rode horses just like the nobles. One day, one of the servants' children, a kitten barely 9 years old, accidentally hurt the knight's hound while playing with a stone. The knight noticed this and asked the kennel guard why his hound was limping. When the kennel guard replied in a cold sweat that a kitten threw a rock and hurt his hound's leg, the knight ordered him to catch the kitten. So they took the kitten from his mother and locked him in a cell for the night. The next morning, the knight mounted his horse and rode out to prepare for the hunt. There were hounds and kennel guards all around him. All of the servants had been summoned in, and in their front stood the mother of the kitten who had injured the knight's hound. Eventually, they brought the kitten from his cell. The morning fog seemed red in the sun. It was not a good time for a hunt. But the knight had no intention of calling it off. The knight ordered the kitten to be undressed. The child stood there, completely vulnerable, trembling and speechless with fright. The knight gave the signal, "Run!" The kennel guards yelled and the kitten ran. The knight grinned and shouted, "Hunt!" and he released his hounds. They hunted down the crying kitten and, yes, they tore the kitten to shreds in front of his mother's eyes. What Khajit saw. more than a few Cyrodiilic nobles pretend to be civilized and take it upon themselves to raise Khajiti cubs. Such parents are then referred to as the ladies and gentlemen of honor and culture. Khajit would once again like to clarify that many humans possess a certain trait in common, and that is the abuse of kittens. Not just kittens, but anything young. This one cannot understand it. With anything else, these ruthless abusers seem like an example of benevolent and cultured nobles. To this one, but it is a lie. They love to torment kittens, and from this twisted point of view, they think they love them. It seems to this one that the childish innocence of the kittens inspires such abuse that it would make even the Aelids of old flinch. Khajit shudders at the thought. A beast is lurking inside every human being. This one is often mistaken for a beast too, but that is very rude. Do not make this mistake, yes? And Khajit only looks like a beast because he was infected with various diseases like brain rot and yellow tick fever because of his lustful nature. Back to the matter. These educated foster parents subjugated a certain 5-year-old kitten to all kinds of torture. Jazan cannot imagine why they would do such a thing, but they beat and beat and beat her, and did not stop beating her even when the kitten's skin split. And as if this would not be disgusting enough, they tortured her even worse. They locked the kitten in the outside latrine during winter, when it was cold enough that even the Nords were freezing. Why did they do this? To punish her for not telling them she had to use the toilet in the middle of the night. As if a little kitten sleeping soundly could do something like that. So they smeared the little kitten's face with her own mess and forced her to eat it. No Khajit would ever do such a thing to a kitten. And these two parents slept soundly while their poor kitten was locked up and wept in vain. And finally, what Khajit said. This one does not need what the Alessians call harmony, for it is not worth even a single tear of the tormented kitten locked in a cold, dark latrine, desperately scratching on the wall with small claws, tearfully praying to the great Alkosh. For it is not worth even a single tear of the tormented kitten, lost in the searing red mist, running desperately on small paws, begging for mercy, the great surrender. For it is not worth even a single tear of the tormented kitten, struggling with a rope, gasping desperately with a small throat, crying loudly to the great law couch. Why is it not worth it? Because the tears went unheard, never repaid. They must be atoned for, otherwise there is no such thing as harmony. This Khajit will never accept it. No matter how much skooma they offer him, he will not accept this. Khajit will declare so even on a chopping block. If little kittens have to suffer for atonement, then no truth is worth this price. And there we have it, guys. A very dark and disturbing look into this particular world of mods, but those familiar of them should not be surprised. So, until next time now, my guys, stay cozy.